Grand Prix has just started. And they are rushing into the first corner. That is Crowthorne. And just watch them swing round Crowthorne, and the leader was Takazumi Katayama from Japan on one of the many Hondas. In fact, 4 Hondas qualified in the top 6. There are 4 Americans in the top 8 in this first ever 500cc South African Grand Prix here at the Kyalami racetrack. Famous, of course, for car racing, and it is Takazumi Katayama in the lead. Marco Lucanelli, number 5, coming down the inside. Marco doesn't quite make it. Barry Sheene, we're looking for Barry. We didn't see exactly where Barry pushed off, but... No, I can't see Barry. And in the lead, Hondas, just look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4 Hondas in the lead. Kenny Roberts made a pretty poor start. We thought the Yamahas would be difficult to start. And Takazumi Katayama on the first lap. There is number 8. Now that's West Bank corner. Used to be called Leocop. Very, very tricky corner. 30 laps to go. 45 minutes of racing, and in second place, Freddie Spencer now. But it looks as if... Yes, it looks to me as if the Hondas are in the first 4 positions. As they come down to the end of the first lap. Ron Haslam, remember, is number 9. Look out for that number 9. How is Ron Haslam faring? He's in that group. 4 Hondas in the first 4 places. This is absolutely sensational. Honda have spared absolutely no money in this race. And Freddie Spencer took the lead. There is fast Freddie Spencer from Shreveport, Louisiana, leading this quartet of Hondas with Randy Mamola in 5th place. Barry Sheene, I'm told, is 17th. Barry Sheene down the field in 17th position. Chris Guy from Devon had a very good practice. And Ron Haslam now in 3rd place. With me in the commentary position, Peter Clifford, the technical editor of Motorcycle Weekly, has raced around this track on a number of occasions. Peter, what about Freddie's tactics, and what about this sensational Honda quartet going straight out into that lead?
Absolutely incredible start, and there's no stopping Freddie Spencer. He's already started to open up a lead over Takazumi Katayama, Ron Haslam, and the 4th placeman Marco Lucanelli. There's just nothing to stop the Hondas. I see Randy Mamola up into 5th place on the Suzuki. Suzuki had a pretty poor practice time, and Randy will have no chance if he lets Freddie get away here.
Oh, well, Honda have really put every effort into their Grand Prix team this year. Let me tell you, there are 40 Honda technicians here. There is a special porter cabin with computer links back to Japan. There are nasty-looking gentlemen with Alsatian dogs who threw me out of the pits. That's how secret they are keeping this race, or their race. It's rather different than the Suzuki pit, I might tell you. But Honda have 8 bikes they had from these 4 riders to choose from, and 4 of those 8 bikes are in positions 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5th is Randy Mamola. 6th, Franco Ancini, the world champion. Well, past Freddie Spencer. And Ron Haslam just took 2nd place then. I think Ron was through to 2nd. No, he isn't. Well, a lot of jockeying of positions, and Randy trying hard down the inside then to try and break up that Honda quartet. And there is Takazumi Katayama. Trying to see where Barry Sheene is. We think Barry Sheene is still around about 15th position. Tremendous atmosphere here. No, Barry is 16th, I'm told. Takazumi. There's Ron Haslam, and then Marco Lucanelli. Then we have Randy Mamola. We've seen him many times on World of Sport in Britain. But just look at Freddie Spencer. Fast Freddie, living up to the PR men's nickname. 21-year-old from Shreveport, Louisiana, has really turned on the gas. It's been quite a couple of weeks for him. Last week he won. Oh, Ron taking 2nd place, is he? No! He lets Katayama go. Ron having a think about going down the inside. The bike's moving around a little bit. Randy is there in the 5th place behind the 4 Hondas. Well, what a sensational start for fast Freddie Spencer. Barry Sheene on the end of the 3rd lap in 16th place. So Barry playing himself in easily. He rather hoped for rain. Fast Freddie Spencer got officially engaged last week at Daytona. to the reigning mystery fort and won the Bell 100-mile Superbike race too. Peter Clifford.
Well, I think the problem is here that fast Freddie Spencer's getting away, and in fact the other three Honda guys are holding each other up. Ron desperately wants to get past Takazumi and set his sights on the American in front, but Takazumi's sticking to his task, and Ron is going to see Freddie disappear over the horizon if he can't get past the Japanese very quickly.
Yes, Takazumi's got a reputation as a fast starter and then tends to slow up a little bit. Eddie Lawson, who was fastest through much of practice on the second of the Marlboro Yamahas, very slow away in this Nashua Grand Prix. Kenny Roberts in 8th position. We thought the B4 Yamahas would be difficult to start, and indeed they are. So fast Freddie Spencer making a sensational early lap running here at Kyalami. Good battles for second place. Fast Freddie made his Grand Prix debut last year, won 2 Grand Prix. Looks as if he was going to win a couple more. His very first Grand Prix win we saw on World of Sport, it was at Spa, and if you remember, he fell off the bike at the end of the race. There you see Katayama with Ron Haslam hanging his knee out. Ron Haslam really trying hard. And Randy Mamola moving up. Randy Mamola has moved up to 4th. Eddie Lawson going very quickly through the back markers, through the pack up his slow start. Eddie Lawson is up to 15th position, and he's a man to watch. But there is Randy Mamola behind Ron. And there you see Kenny Roberts, the new all-red colour scheme of Kenny Roberts. Somebody said he looked a bit like Father Christmas in that get-up. King Kenny, definitely his last season, he says, of Grand Prix racing, possibly his last season altogether. They come up to West Bank corner. Remember, Freddie Spencer is leading, Katayama is second, Ron Haslam is in 3rd place, then Randy Mamola, then it looks as if Kenny Roberts have moved up 1. Couple of places back, I just caught the back of Franco and Cini, the reigning world champion on the Suzuki. Suzuki have had a lot of handling problems, and just look how Ron is slipstreaming. Peter, tell us about this slipstreaming down that main straight. It's going to be very vital, isn't it?
Yes, it's a mile-long straight here at Kyalami, so slipstream plays a big part. The leading motorcycle punches a great hole in the air, allowing the following motorcycle an easy passage to tuck in behind. Ron didn't succeed in getting past Takazumi there. The bike's obviously very evenly matched, but he's going to try around the back section, and maybe he'll bide his time until he gets back onto the straight again so he can get a slingshot past the man in front of him.
And yes, he's done it. In fact, just as Peter handed the mic back to me, Ron Haslam snapped into 2nd place, put on the power of that 3-cylinder, 2-stroke engine, perhaps 135 brake horsepower going through that 7-inch back wheel. Really difficult to control. And look at Ron now, knee-out style. And it looks as if Roberts was moving up. Let's watch for Roberts. Kenny Roberts is up to 4th place. King Kenny does not wish his reign to end without a victory at the last year of his World Championship Challenge. Kenny, remember, won it 3 times. 2 years ago, he lost the title to Marco Lucanelli. Last year, Franco and Cini took the title. Kenny's last year, he desperately wants to take it back, and I see him as the man who is most likely to come through. Good news for British fans. Barry Sheene is now up to 14th. This is lap number 6. Kenny Roberts on the red and white Yamaha. The Yamaha is a V4. The Suzuki is a square 4. The Honda is a 3-cylinder. And just look at that lead that Freddie Spencer's pulled out. Looked like about 3 seconds, and Katayama has got back to 2nd place. Ron Haslam is 3rd. 4th for Kenny Roberts. Well, in practice, the top 6 riders all lapped within the second of each other. We thought this was going to be a cracker. We did not expect Freddie Spencer to pull out that early lead, but all these second men are making up for it, and Kenny Roberts will be getting all the pit signals from Kel Carruthers and Nobby Clark in the Yamaha pit, and they'll be telling him just how far ahead, not these men are, but how far ahead Freddie Spencer is.
Kenny told me just before the race started that he knew his motorcycle had about 10 miles an hour in top speed over the Hondas, but the big problem in practice was that as the motorcycle got hot, the power decreased. Now, it's a steaming hot day here at Kyalami, so Kenny's big worry is going to be that though the bike may be fast now, he's got to make his move and get to the front before the temperature of the engine increases, the power drops off, and he loses speed.
Well, he's certainly trying that. Just look here, he's trying to sweep round Katayama. Now he goes to the inside. Has he done it yet? Now can Kenny have a go at Ron Haslam? Kenny won't Probably wondering, who is this guy in front of me? This British guy, Ron from Langley Mill in Notts, still lives with his mum, one of 10 children. Great character around the race circuits. And just look at the speed there on that Honda now. I wonder if Kenny has started to slow up. That was absolutely sensational. That was slipstreaming at its very best. And there is Katayama. Katayama is now second. Ron Haslam is third. Fourth is Kenny Roberts. Randy Mamola is fifth. Big surprise, Raymond Roche is sixth on a Honda. Marco Lucanelli seventh, then Franco Incini. Those positions are a little out of date. There's fast action in this South African Grand Prix, and don't expect the caption writers to keep up with that, as you saw Ron Haslam go through as I was talking. Ron Haslam back in second place. They don't call him Rocket Ron for nothing. So the Langley Mill flyer on his first full season of Grand Prix racing, and he gets a bit of a twitch on. Ron, in his early career, when he used to ride a Yamaha 750 for Mal Carter, did fall off quite a lot, but he's really now a much steadier rider, if this can be counted as steady. Barry Sheene, reminding you, is in 14th. And there is Kenny Roberts, and Kenny is just out of our picture, got back into third place. Now he's having another snap at Ron. Seems that Kenny is quicker down the twisty bits of the circuit, but the Honda seem much faster down the straight. Let's watch this time. Peter Clifford, take us through it.
Well, Kenny's tucked in right behind Ron Haslam here, using the slipstream, but Kenny's got a problem that if he uses the slipstream, allows the front motorcycle to push the air away, the air won't pass through his radiator, and it's not going to cool the engine. But he's made use of it this time, because he's pulled out of the slipstream at exactly the right moment, got on the brakes at the last second, and dived into second place.
But yes, he did get into second place. He held second place. Katayama came to third. Ron Haslam was demoted to fourth. We're looking at our picture and see if we can see Barry Sheene. I think we just caught a glimpse of Barry Sheene in about 14th position. He said he'd be happy with the top 10 position. Well, that's going to his schedule at the moment. There is Ron and Katayama side by side. Ron just sweeps inside the Japanese former pop singer, might I tell you. But Kenny Roberts is past those two Hondas. Randy Mamola is behind them. So Americans first and second, a Briton in third place, a Japanese rider in fourth place, and another American in fifth. Well, King Kenny from Modesto, California, lives right in the wine-growing area. If you enjoyed those Californian wines, well, that's where Kenny lives. He enjoys them too, but obviously in moderation. And King Kenny's coming up to West Bank corner with Ron Haslam behind him. Takazumi Katayama before him. And Barry Sheene has moved up to 13th spot. He started 13th, so he has now moved up to the spot in which he started. Barry Sheene having a little bit of a charge at the back. But let's face it, we're used to seeing Barry out in the front of these races. He had a tremendous season last year, a whole string of second and third places before that accident. But the man should be on crutches. He really should. And to just look at him in the pits when he was wearing his shorts, you can hardly see the scar marks from where Nigel Cobb inserted all those screws and pins which hold his fragile legs together. Barry Sheene absolutely sensationally determined, and you saw him when I was talking to earlier in the pits. And there is Barry, there is number 7 Barry on his Suzuki. That bike about 40 pounds heavier than the factory bikes, and he has been followed by Sergio Palandini on a Suzuki. They're both similar bikes, in fact. And you see Barry move his weight across. And I think Barry was determined to conserve his stamina. Peter, how do you think Barry's riding?
Well, he's obviously got to be careful not to crash, because he cannot afford to damage those legs again so quickly, so he's got to ride conservatively. But for a man in his condition, he's putting on a tremendous performance there, sliding with casual ease off the side of the motorcycle, getting it well down on in the turn before a sharp acceleration there to keep himself ahead of Palandini. He'll be conserving his energy and hoping to make up ground towards the end of the race, as the other riders will be tiring.
Well, this is 1/3 distance, and you see Barry Sheene having a good battle. They call him Bionic Barry, and well they should. Barry, the man who's so adept at riding a helicopter, flying a helicopter. But there is fast Freddie Spencer, and he's got a bit of a twitch on. Freddie Spencer well out in the lead, and he is obviously not hanging about at all. He will have been told by his pit crew that he's got about 4 seconds. Maybe the rear tyre is starting to heat up a little bit and make it a little bit twitchy. Fast Freddy comes up from under the bubble. And just look at that lead. Kenny Roberts on the offensive. Kenny Roberts chasing Fast Freddy. And the World Championship this year could be all about these two men. And it could also be about Barry Sheene too, because he is now up to 11th place. The end of lap 10, Barry was a fighting 11th. And looks as if he's going to get into the frame. Through the S's. There is King Kenny. Sweeps up towards West Bank. Motorcycle gets a bit of a wobble on. And now onto the main straight. This is a very important corner to come out of quickly. Peter, let's follow Kenny round. Tell us how you ride the circuit.
Well, Kenny's now changing up through the gears. You just saw his arm flick out as he changed the gainer. He's up into 6th gear now. The motorcycle accelerating up to 180 miles an hour over the top of the brow, gaining revs up to maximum revs of about 12,000 RPM as he sits waiting for the braking point to arrive. Sits up, his body acting as a parachute, grabbing the front brakes, down, shifting down to 4th gear, down to 2nd gear for this 70-mile-an-hour corner, and then accelerating, changing up again through the gears, through this very, very fast 110-mile-an-hour barbecue bend sweep. The bike sliding out as he tries to hold it to the inside to make the very important flick over, and then up through the 130-mile-an-hour Yuxke sweep in 4th, changing to 5th gear, holding it in 5th all the way under the braking for the 90-mile-an-hour sunset bend. Again, it's a late apex bend, the bike sliding all the way through the corner. A short burst of acceleration down to 4th corner here, into 2nd gear, missing the bumps there on the outside of the circuit, laying over a tremendous angle here, using all the road up onto the curb, another burst of acceleration, and then the very tricky S's with the off-camber here. You cannot let the bike slide out on the first left-hander, and there's no room on the right-hander either because there's a barrier right on the outside of the track. He's braking now, turning down for the last corner, the 2nd gear, 50 mile an hour, accelerating to 70 mile an hour on the exit West Bank corner and back onto the straight, accelerating once more through the gears.
Well, there you have a very fast lap with Peter Clifford of the Kyalami track, and I bet Peter wishes he could race round here as quick as Kenny Roberts. Chris Guy, the young Devon rider on the Fabergé Suzuki, he's unfortunately come into the pits. There is Freddie Spencer, number 3, in the lead, pulled away from King Kenny Roberts. Kenny on the charge, though. And then we have the Hondas. 3rd position, Ron Haslam. 4th position, Takazumi Katayama. 5th position, Randy Momola. Moved up to 6th now is Mark Fontaine on the 3rd of the 3 B4 Yamahas in this race. Marco Lucanelli, the world champion from 2 years ago, on the 4th of the Hondas. He's back in 8th place behind the private machine of Raymond Roche. Randy Momola going through the picture. Randy Momola with Takazumi tacked on behind. These Suzuki's very small. The main development in motorcycle racing in recent years has been a reduction in frontal area and size. They're nearly all running now on 16-inch front wheels. 12 laps have been completed. This is the 13th. Eddie Lawson, who made that slow start from 2nd position on the grid, has now got into the top 10 frame. Eddie Lawson in 10th place in his very first 500 Grand Prix, although the fans will know he did do a couple of years ago 3 250 Grand Prix in Europe. But a 4 times American champion, Eddie Lawson, we don't see him in the picture here. We do see number 9, Ron Haslam, tucked under the bubble. Number 6, Randy Momola from Santa Clara, California. And behind Randy Momola, the Japanese but Korean-born rider Takazumi Katayama, the former 350cc world champion, and a man who put so much effort into developing these bikes. And Takazumi is going to try down the inside, and indeed outbreaks Randy Momola. Freddie Spencer making this race look a little bit easy. We're approaching half distance, and we're wondering if Kenny is going to make a charge, or as Peter suggested, his engine is perhaps starting to overheat. And let's look at that action. Look at Randy trying to go round, and indeed he does it. What a sensational move. Well, Randy Momola, since we saw him first, has been a very spectacular rider. We do have an accident on the course, as you can see, the ambulance. We have not any information about who the rider is, but there is an ambulance on the course. White flags are being waved. That will make business a little bit tricky. If we have any information, we'll bring it to you. There is Randy Momola on the HB Suzuki. They have 3 factory Suzukis in this race. Randy Mamola, Franco Uncini and Loris Reggiani, whose bike is slightly different to the other two and is prepared by the tuner Roberto Gallina. But there is Ron holding off Randy, holding off Takazumi. Peter Clifford, is this how you expected the race to go? Did you think that Freddie would run away with it?
Well, the practice times didn't indicate that he would get just this much of a lead so early on, but of course the man who was second in practice, Eddie Lawson, had a terrible start, so that explains why Freddie's been able to get away. Now, Randy's doing a superb job on the work Suzuki here because they had bad handling problems in practice. Franco Uncini told me this morning, that's Randy's teammate, that the rear suspension was giving them all kinds of trouble and they just couldn't get the power to the road. They'd made some guesses to the suspension settings for the race, and it looks as though they may have guessed right on Randy's machine because he is making up ground.
Into the last 4 laps of this South African Grand Prix, and what a cracker it has been. Ron Haslam doing it all for Britain. In third place, there is number 8, Takazumi Katayama. Takazumi, the Japanese, who does some physical jerks on the grid just before he climbs on his bike. Looks a bit like a samurai warrior. Mark Fontaine still shadowing Ron Haslam. Ron hasn't shaken him off yet. Meanwhile, Freddie Spencer still pouring on the power. Well ahead of Kenny Roberts. Something of a walk-away win for Freddie Spencer. We didn't expect that, but at least we've got the bonus here of a tremendous battle with Ron Haslam and Mark Fontaine. And that battle still rages. Ron Haslam has got no time to relax. And I wonder if through the S's, Mark's going to try that same trick again that's worked a couple of times before. Ron will be expecting it now. And a slower rider might mess it up a little bit. Oh, and there's a rider down. That is one of the Hondas.
It's Takazumi Katayama who's crashed his Honda. He's looks okay, the bike's being wheeled away. Takazumi's being helped out. Poor old Takazumi, he's having a desperately hard ride in 4th place, just tried too hard and slung the machine away. But Honda's still out in front with Freddie Spencer. Freddie riding cool, calm and collected, number 3 there. Number 3 just about to pick up a couple of back markers, but he's having no trouble. He seems to have a lot of time in hand as he just waits for the right position. Takes an easy line past the back marker there, taking no chances. Will watch Freddie use his skill to pick off the next man in front of him, wait for the safe opportunity. There's no need to hurry. He's got a tremendous lead over 2nd place man Kenny Roberts and the 3rd place men Ron Haslam and Mark Fontaine.
Well, that crash we saw with Takazumi Katayama has, of course, put Barry Sheene into the points. Barry Sheene is now 10th, 1 point at least. That'll make him very happy indeed. And now we are in the closing stages. And Freddie Spencer, Kenny Roberts is 2nd, Ron Haslam is 3rd, Mark Fontaine is 4th, now Randy Mamola is 5th, Franco Uncini is 6th, Eddie Lawson has come all the way up to 7th place after his slow start, and Raymond Roche is 8th, and Barry Sheene, remind you, is 10th. Oh, and there's a rider getting his legs down and still staying on, unbelievably. This is lap number 28. There is Freddie Spencer about to complete lap 28 and go on to his penultimate lap. Looking for his 3rd Grand Prix win of his short but spectacular career. Freddie Spencer. There is Freddie now on to his penultimate lap. The bike wobbling a little bit. And the back end vibrating. Just look at those twin exhausts. 3 exhausts that this bike has vibrating like mad. Freddie Spencer on the last but 1 lap on our lap chart. 2nd is Kenny Roberts. Kenny isn't going to catch him now. 3rd is Mark Fontaine. 4th is Ron Haslam. 5th is Randy Mamola. And what is now going through Freddie Spencer's young brain? Starting to hear all the strange noises that might just put him out in the last final gasps of this race. Freddie has lost a race. He lost the German Grand Prix last year on, well, the very last corner, and he had a little bit of a collision and Randy Mamola came through to win. So Freddie will be remembering that remembering you can throw a race in the closing stages. And there is Kenny Roberts. That's the gap. Kenny Roberts has ridden hard for second place. Now, Freddie comes across the line. There is Freddie going on to the very last lap of this race. Well, Freddie Spencer has ridden an absolute copybook race, hasn't he, Peter?
He has indeed. He's never put a foot wrong. He took the lead early on so that he didn't get caught up in any early race squabbles, and he's now out on his last lap. He takes a very slow last lap so as to not make any mistakes. That's one of his tactics, so I can't imagine to see Freddie put a foot wrong here. He's just curving through the bends on his way to his third Grand Prix win with ease.
So Freddie Spencer it is. Looks as if he's going to win the Nashua South African Grand Prix. Kenny Roberts is second. A great ride from Ron Haslam in third place, battling for much of the way with Marc Fontaine of France. Fifth was Randy Mamola on the HP Suzuki. Sixth, Franco Ancini, his teammate. Seventh, Raymond Roche. Eighth, Eddie Lawson. And Barry Sheen in 10th place. And Gary Lingham having a good ride too. Well, there Freddie just takes the back marker through the S's for the very last time. And they'll pour on the power up towards West Bank, Leocop corner. Round it very safely indeed. Now all there is that run down to the straight. He could almost coast home now. Still tucks under the bubble. Fast Freddie Spencer coming towards the line. Takes the kink for the last time. Still winds on the power, and there's the checkered flag. Fast Freddie Spencer has won the South African Grand Prix. We are still waiting for Kenny Roberts to come home second. And a brilliant third place it looks as if it's going to be for Ron Haslam. There is Freddie waving to his fans. Mike Reed, clerk of the course, gives the checkered flag. And there is Freddie. Ron Haslam third. Marc Fontaine third. Randy Mamola just coming home fifth. Franco Ancini in sixth place. Raymond Roche seventh. Eighth, Eddie Lawson, and Barry Sheen in his comeback ride gets a World Championship point. 10th. A fine display from brave Barry. Well done, Barry. And well done, Freddie Spencer. And well done, Ron Haslam. You really put on a super display for us. Freddie just signals to a couple of the riders that he had lapped. South African fans really love this display. And a little wheelie full of joy. There you see Kenny Roberts. Kenny pats Freddie on the back. Congratulations. Kenny actually goes in front of him on the Marlboro Yamaha. There you see the final lineup. Spencer, Roberts, Haslam, Fontaine, Mamola, and Chini.